Hi, my peepers. Welcome to a new episode of What's New in Shalene's Neck of the Woods. And I am recording this on Saturday afternoon, but it will be uploaded Sunday, which will be October 1st when this color along starts, so that you guys can color along while watching this. Please don't mind me. I've been out of breath all morning. I've been cleaning, putting up all my Halloween decoration, took a shower, and I did sit at the computer for a little bit, but still catching my breath. Drinking water. Oh, and I have to show you who will be with me while I'm coloring all the month of October. This is my little Halloween cat. I don't have a Halloween peeper. I don't know if you can get Halloween peepers. And if you don't know what a peeper is, it's a frog. The frogs are peepers at nighttime and sometimes during the day. Oh, it's little crickets are peepers. It's anything that's nighttime noises. So I have my Halloween cat. The page we are working on today is Queen of Halloween. And I am going to be doing some of the background now. So I have acrylic paint navy. I have my two paint brushes, almost said toothbrushes. Okay, yeah. So, I'm hoping this will stay. I have a piece of paper. It won't be going over the edges, though, because there's lines here. So I don't have to worry about going over the edges. I guess I better zoom out a little bit so you guys can see what I'm doing. So, I have a napkin here and a cup with water in it, but I am using this straight. So we also had a small change in plans for this. Jen is not doing the second week now, and Laura from Anxiety Art Adventures offered to do the second week. And she will keep the same picture, which was Autumn. This one is Queen of Halloween. I do have a small paintbrush to get into the detail, the smaller stuff. And I don't have to worry about the back because there is nothing on the back. So, how many of you still dress up for Halloween as adults? Do you dress up for work? Do you go trick-or-treating with your children or grandchildren? I dress up every year when I was working at the lab, I was the only one that dressed up. I always dressed up when I took my kids trick-or-treating. A lot of costumes were made from things that I already had around the house. And I really don't remember as a child what I dressed up as. I really don't know, and I never asked my mom. I remember a lot of things from my childhood. I remember going trick-or-treating because we always tried to go to my grandparents, because her street was fun and we knew everybody. And that's where I took my kids. I am going to check that to make sure it's not Scott. Nope. My Amazon package is here. And no, it's not coloring related. Those are bats there. Don't want to paint over them. So, taking my kids trick-or-treating, I always dressed up with them. And not always a full costume, sometimes just a mask. Sometimes just face paints. I've done a cat face. I did the Star Child, which is Paul Stanley from Kiss. I did just the face. I bought a unicorn costume, wore that one year. The town I live in has a parade all down Main Street. They just shut the road for a few minutes. And so I used to take my kids there, and then we'd go trick-or-treating. And one year, you will get a kick out of this. I still laugh about it. I can't help it. It's funny. I decided to go in my bathrobe, a pair of old slippers. I had curlers in my hair. And I decided to put, you know, the clay masks that you do for your skin on your face. I put that on. I wouldn't recommend doing that again when you're out for a few hours, because by the time we got home, that clay mask was super dry. And my face was like really, really tight. Okay, there's that. I want to make it look just a little better. Okay. Let's go in. So yeah, I don't recommend doing that again. Although my face was really soft. I've been a hobo a couple of times. Just with stuff around the house. I was, and don't email me, but the one year I was pregnant with Justin, I was a nun. Yep. It was meant as a joke, so don't send me emails. I had a Halloween party to go to that year. What else have I done? I think I dressed up like a cowgirl one year. Last year, I went with Carson, and well, Blake didn't dress up because he was only a few months old. But, are you seeing what I'm doing? Yep. Good. Hope I'm not hitting the tripod a lot. So last year I wore just a mask. It went over my eyes. It was very pretty. It was a butterfly mask. The year before, trying not to shake this table. It's not working. I was going to do this at the kitchen table, but I knew Scott could be coming home anytime, and then the dog would be running down there and barking, and it was just easier staying in the family room. And then the year before, when I went with Carson, I wore a scary, like, pumpkin king mask. It was like a metallic, shiny orange. And then I wore a black hoodie and had the hood up. And a pair of black pants. And so when I first met up with Dylan and Amber, I had the mask off and I let Carson hold it because I didn't want to scare him. And he laughed at it, and he saw me put it on, and it didn't bother him. I think I just screwed up. Maybe not. Just a little bit. I can fix it with the black marker though when I get to this point. I did not water down the acrylic either. I'm using straight acrylic. And I don't care if there's some lines from the paintbrush because it's sky. Sky is not perfect. I also remember one year taking, well, my neighbor, we lived where nobody really went trick-or-treating. We lived on a lake. Most of the houses were seasonal, just summertime people, cottages. We lived there year-round. So my neighbor was the same age as I am. We took our two younger sisters trick-or-treating. We were, I believe, 15 or 16. We took our sisters. And we came upon one house, and they were college guys. And they said, "We don't have candy." So they gave our sisters, I think, some quarters. And they offered alcohol to my friend and I. We're like, no, we're not old enough. And then that same night, we went to another house, and a guy answered. Now, he must have been out squirrel hunting, rabbit hunting, because yes, we've eaten rabbits and squirrels, rabbit stew and squirrel stew. And so when he answered the door, he had on like a butcher's apron. There was blood on it, and I could see into his kitchen. And so I saw what were like the rabbits. Okay, I don't want to screw up again. Okay, I see now. I saw like the rabbits and the squirrels. Now, my dad's a hunter, so I'm not squeamish about that stuff, and neither were the rest of us. But our little sisters didn't see the animals. So when he answered the door, all they saw was the blood on his clothes or on his apron, and also on the table or the counters were like the butcher knives. And so when he answered the door, he smiled and said, "Welcome. This is what happened to the last trick-or-treaters that were here." Scared the shit out of my sister, and my friend's sister was funnier than hell. We've had some Halloweens where the weather was warm. We've had Halloweens where it was snowing. You never know. I like horror movies. I haven't watched any in a very long time, because I watch so many TV shows that I don't usually have time to watch the movies. But I like the Friday the 13th. I like the Halloween movies with Jamie Lee Curtis. Nightmare on Elm Street. I saw the first couple movies of Saw. They were okay. Trying to think there's other horror movies. Oh, I like The Fog. I like the original one better than the remake. Any of the Stephen King movies. I also just like plain old Halloween movies. I love Hocus Pocus, Practical Magic. Halloween Town. And Rue McClanahan was in, was it The Worst Witch? I think it was called. I believe you can still get that on VHS, but not on DVD. And of course the Garfield, Halloween, and Charlie Brown. I have those. I used to have a Halloween cassette that the kids and I loved, and my husband hated it. He would get so mad because there's constantly a voice throughout the whole cassette of a guy saying creepily, "Happy Halloween," and then he'd laugh. And it would say it throughout the whole tape. And my husband would get so mad and yell at us, "Turn that thing off." Like, you're a party pooper. He shouldn't be. His birthday's on Halloween. I don't scare easily. I believe in ghosts. When Justin was a baby, I would have his monitor on, you know, the baby monitor on in his room. And once in a while, you could hear someone humming, and like not singing, but humming to him. Baby songs. And there was no one in there. And Scott's had a few things happen here in the house. Not anymore, but it used to when we first moved in. Once we had the kids, it kind of stopped. I watched him have a tug of war with a plate with a piece of pie on it. There was nobody there, and he was actually fighting something, trying to hold on to his plate. And I sat there laughing. He didn't think it was funny. Okay, I think that's it for the paint. Yeah. And one time we were eating dinner, and we watched a Tupperware lid slide up the wall. So it was on the counter. It went up the wall and then fell back down on the counter. Okay. And then another time, Scott was home alone, and the bathroom faucet turned on by itself. And we didn't have the kids then. And another time, when Scott was home alone, the ceiling fan turned on by itself. So almost all this stuff happened either when the kids were really little or before the kids were born. Let's see. I need my black marker. What'd I do with it? I thought I had it sitting right here. Oh, come on. Where'd my black marker go? I had it sitting... Oh, there it is. And what else? Oh, another time I was sitting watching TV, and Scott was taking a shower, and he yelled out, "What are you doing?" So I'm watching TV. He said, "The water's turned off." So I went in the laundry room, and it's like a light switch that we can turn the water on and off with. The switch was turned off. Now, the kids were either babies or we didn't have them. And where the switch is, none of the animals could reach it. My dad's always saying, I wouldn't be living there. I would be moving out. I'm like, why? It wasn't hurting us. I see some more spots I missed with the paint. Quite a few spots, actually. But ever since the kids were little, all this stuff stopped. Now, where was I looking? I saw something I was missing. Oh, over here. Oh, and I know another thing that used to happen too. My sister and my friends, they would come over once in a while, you know, on the weekends, and we'd party a little bit, not a lot. And sometimes we weren't even drinking. But they did not like to sleep in my family room. They saw things that they couldn't explain. And I know a lot of times in the mornings, I would come in to the family room, and my really heavy rocking chair was a fabric rocking chair. It wasn't a wooden one. One of those big, heavy, upholstered rocking chairs would be moved towards the middle of the living room. Now, even if the cats had jumped on it, they could not have moved it. So that was like almost every morning it would be moved. I guess nothing bothered me because it never hurt us. It was just silly things like that. Oh, I think I got it all this time. So yeah, I've had strange things happen in my life, and it never really bothered me. Trying to be really careful around these little windows so that I don't cover them up. And my boys love Halloween too, especially Justin. And Justin dresses up if he goes trick-or-treating with us to, with Carson. I don't remember if he went trick-or-treating with us last year or if it was the year before that he dressed up like Harry Potter. He has the robe. And he used to have his glasses used to look like Harry Potter glasses. They were round, and he would put the scar on his forehead. Trying to do this so you can see me, but I didn't want to get out my heat gun. So maybe I'll just work on this. I'm hoping you can still see what I'm doing. Okay. And I did try this navy on a piece of paper and then put the black marker next to it to make sure that it wasn't too subtle, that you wouldn't be able to see the black, and it looked fine. I'm using my Crayola Super Tips. I have Sharpies also. I have black Sharpies. And what did Carson... Oh, last year I bought Carson's Halloween costume because they said they couldn't afford a costume. They weren't going to take him trick-or-treating. Said he has to go trick-or-treating. So I took him shopping, and he was a superhero. I don't remember which one. I don't remember if it was Captain America or what he was. I don't remember. This year he says he wants to be a minion. And I don't know what Blake will be. Oh, I know. 2 years ago, Carson had a really nice dressy camel colored like wool coat, and so we dressed him up, kind of looked like Oliver Twist type thing, and people thought he was a horseman, somebody who rides horses. He was really cute. So, doing this color along, I will have the picture of the week posted of what we're coloring in my Facebook group, and then you can post your finishes in the comment section, and then have Justin or Scott pick their favorite picture out of the group, and that will be the header for the week. And I will link below Laura's YouTube channel and her Facebook group. Jessica from Jessica's Coloring Corner is also doing this. I will have her link for her YouTube channel down below and her Facebook group. And Siggers from A Colorful Life is doing this. I will have her YouTube channel. She doesn't have a group on Facebook. She just has a page, so you can like that page. And Ann Hatfield, she has a YouTube channel. She does not have a Facebook group. So I will have her link below. I don't know if you can tell on camera. I don't know if you can see the black bats, and you can see it all good in person. And I will only color this on camera. I won't color this on my own. But I think I might just do some background Halloween sounds when I color some of this. I don't know. Depends on what I have to talk about. Sometimes I don't have anything to talk about. So the paint dried pretty well. I'm not getting anything on my hand anymore. So, yep, my plans for this month are to color all of these pictures on camera. And if I don't have anything to talk about, then I will do the Halloween sounds. I will have to do that definitely for the second week, which is autumn, because I'm going to have to record them this week while coloring that, because I will be out of town for that week. I go to my cross-stitch retreat in Myrtle Beach. fact, we were in Myrtle Beach one year for Halloween. And that was the year that we took the boys. Scott went with. Scott doesn't always go with me, but the first few years, Scott always went with me. And some of the years, the boys went with us. I would contact the teachers and tell them to give them homework that they would be missing. Because they had to have their homework done before their feet hit the beach. And back then I had a high-top conversion van. It had the TV and the VCR player in it. Captain seats in the center, captain seats in the front, and then the back seat was a bench seat. So the boys would either do their homework in the van on the way down there, because it was a 16-hour drive, and we would travel for 12 hours and stay in Rocky Mount, North Carolina, and then travel the rest of the way the next day. We always left on Saturday morning. So the boys would try to get all their homework done Friday night so they wouldn't have to take it with them. And then whatever they didn't get done would go with us. And they would have it all done before we got into Myrtle Beach. I know the first 2 years the teachers didn't believe me, and I told them their homework will get done. So they've been there a few times as little kids. And then I just started going with another lady here from New York. I would ride with her. I know the boys would love to go again. Oh, crap. Anyways, as I was saying, the one year was Halloween there, so I didn't get them costumes. Because I didn't want to take them to neighborhoods I didn't know. Well, we ended up going to Broadway on the beach, which is a big shopping center. It's outdoors. It has like a small lake in the center, and all the stores are around it. And there's restaurants and that. So we happened to go out to eat at one of the restaurants. And the restaurant, the waitress said, "There's trick or treat in here tonight. All the stores will be open, and they're handing out candy." And I said, well, I didn't bring them costumes. So I forgot what happened. We ended up getting plastic Halloween bags, and they did do the trick-or-treat in there. We had a good time. The boys had fun. You know, and we'd explain to the shop owners from out of state. Didn't know this was going to go on. So yeah, that was the only year we didn't dress up. Because the person that puts on the retreat, we had it later in the month a couple times. But then it got permanently switched to the second week of the month. And no, I'm not doing this whole page in markers. I will be using colored pencils. I'm just doing the background in the markers and the paint. I have the shakes bad. It must be from that cup of coffee I had. That was a couple hours ago. So yeah, what else? Halloween. Oh, I know. Scott talks about one of his Halloweens, getting into trouble. I forgot how old he said he was. Oh, I found some more. That's another spot for paint. I forgot how old he said he was. I know he was a teenager. And I don't remember whose car he said he was in. Anyways, they had bought a couple dozen eggs to go throw eggs on things. You know, typical kids getting into trouble. And I forgot what happened with the driver of the car they were in. Ended up getting pulled over. Well, when they got pulled over, they had stopped at someone's driveway, and the person that lived there had come out to see what was going on. And when they got pulled over, the cops saw all the eggs and asked them what the eggs were for. And to not try to get into trouble, they all said that they bought them for a big breakfast that they were having at home the next day. So the cops like, okay, well, I don't know if he said he was going to follow them home or call the parents. And the kids didn't want that. So the owner of the house said that he would take the eggs off their hands. So Scott said, there went all my birthday money I had spent on all these eggs. Like you idiots. That's the only Halloween he talks about. He doesn't talk about any other ones. I didn't really let my kids go to town by themselves as teenagers, especially Dylan, because Dylan would find trouble. — 56 minutes. Really? Did I bore you? Okay. Let me get a little bit of this done here. And then I have to say goodbye. I try to do a video every day till it's done. Like I said, I might do some with just creepy noises. I just want to keep coloring. But that's it for today, my peepers. I will talk to you all later. Let me know in the comments down below what movies you like, what cartoons, what you've dressed up as for Halloween. If you have a favorite Halloween story, please let me know down in the comments below. And if you like this, please click on like. And if you're not subscribed and you want to see more videos, please click on subscribe. And I appreciate all of my peepers. You are all great. Oh, and I did mail out 3 packages today that were for the United States. And I have 3 more that have to go out in another week that are out of the country. One's Canada, one's Portugal, and one's, I think, the UK. They'll get mailed out next week. And then all my giveaways and that will be all done and mailed out. And there will be a Halloween book as a giveaway at the end of October. Nancy with an I has offered a Halloween book. So I think what I'm going to do is anyone in the Facebook group that posts a finished picture out of this book, their name will get put in the drawing. I might as well just keep going because it's probably already split up into 2 videos. So if I get cut off while talking, it will be part 2. And part 2 might only be a few minutes, as I know it's going to go into another file after 59 minutes, and it's already over 59 minutes. So I'm just